Hey, welcome back everybody to the Mail Call Monday. I'm your host, the Duckman. And we're back today with a whole bunch of mail that we got sent to us. I got something here from Michael, I'm gonna say Waters, although it kind of looks like Watees. And he is in Chatsworth, Georgia. We got something here from Amazon, which is pertaining to these go-karts that you see behind me here. And then we got an extra special gift from a friend of mine, Tim in Texas. Now, he sent this to me last week, and I opened it up off camera. He, a little bit of a miscommunication. I thought he didn't want me to open up his gift on camera, but in fact, he did. And this is a little something that he picked up in Alaska. It's a rocking knife. Perhaps for slicing vegetables or something. But it's such a pretty piece, and it's stamped with Alaska from his Alaskan trip, that I don't think I'll use it in the kitchen. It actually currently adorns my mantle right above my television. So that's where that sits. So thank you so much, Tim, from your Alaskan vacation. And just a really nice piece. And when the light hits it, it's just absolutely beautiful with that, what do they call that? Some kind of anodized pattern. I forget what it's called. Of course, my words always fail to come to me when I am doing a video, but that's just the way it always goes. Well, as always, if you'd like to send me something, hit up duckshit.net and find my address up there. But this is our current Christmas edition, and thank you very much, Tim, for this Christmas gift. I really appreciate it. All right, well, like, comment, subscribe. We'll be right back after the intro. All right, well, we are back. Right here, let's go ahead and bust open what we got from Michael Waters. And again, didn't know if it was Waters or Watees. I'd show you, but his address will be exposed. But my address is exposed now. Oh no! Check out my address up on duckshit.net. If you'd like to send me something, I'll open it up on Mail Call Monday. But in the case of these, we're going to call these all Christmas gifts because this is the week of Christmas. Let's see what we got in here. Using a knife for the first and probably only time I'll ever use it. All right, oh sheesh, that's really sharp. I did not expect it to cut so easily. Wow, that was incredible. Okay. Maybe it'll have to be our Mail Call Monday knife. All right, we got, hey, it looks like I opened up the right end. Merry Christmas, Glenn, from your friend, MadMoose67 on YouTube. He's a cool guy, really cool dude. Let's see what he sent us. It looks like a lot of bubble wrap. Oh, we got something right here. Make sure there's nothing else. Nope, piece of foam. Some of this. Oh, look at that. A Christmas duck. Hey, thank you so much. MadMoose67. What a great guy. You subscribe to him, you guys. Check out his YouTube channel. That is just too awesome. That is not who I expected to send me something. I really appreciate that, more than you know. Now, this is going to go with some of my other duck stuff. Most of my duck stuff stays out all year round, no matter what theme it is. If it's Halloween-based, it's still out. If it's Christmas-based, it's still out. All the duck stuff is around the house, and this won't be any different. This is really cool. It looks like it's a handmade piece. Looks like it was hand-carved. It doesn't say if he made it himself, but nonetheless, that is a great decoration. I appreciate that. All right, we're breaking in because, well, we got one more piece of mail. This one is from James Curtis up in Martville, New York. Little Bitti here is going to help me open it. Ow! She's doing much better, by the way. Remember, she was sick. She had that infection going on in her eyes and her sinuses, and she's completely better. We got her an antibiotic shot that night, and she had a bad reaction to it. Thought I was going to lose her. She was barely able to hold up her own head, and normally she's very warm, and I think some of that might have been from her running a fever, but when she was on my neck, she always felt like an oven. That night, she got cold, really cold, so I did the best to keep her warm. And about 8 hours later, I was still up with her. We're talking like 5 in the morning. I figured if she's going to go, I'd rather be with her during the last minutes. And suddenly, she lifted her head up, and she crawled up me and got in here and cuddled with me, which told me that whatever she had that was bothering her was getting better. And indeed, she was moving and she started talking again, and just like that, like flipping a light switch. But there's Bitti. And Bitty's in much better shape. And she's getting big, too. Look at the size of her. Size of my fist now. Maybe even a little bit bigger. She's a big girl. You're a big girl. Well, James, let's get your mail opened up here. Looks like we got some kind of a note. Probably something for Christmas. Let's see what we got. What? What are you chirping about? I hear you. All right. Here we go. Trying to unfold this thing. My fingers are still a little cold. We had a cold night last night, but it's really warm out here today. It's freaking beautiful. It's about 70 degrees. I mean, you're not going to have much nicer days than here. And this is Christmas Eve, by the way. I'm recording this. This is beautiful. Well, dear Duckman, I'm suing you because I don't like your New Jersey attitude and your crappy videos. I'm kidding. Sorry, James. To the Duckman, please help. I inherited an MG kit car with no motor or trans. Your website told me the chassis is a 64 Beetle. He's using my Beetle birthday component of my website. Hit up duckshit.net, look for the beta website, and you'll find it on there. You can type in your VIN number and it'll give you the birthday to your Beetle. Approximately. It's based on an algorithm that I wrote. Found a 1970 remanufactured engine. I also found a 70 trans axle that I can put the two together in a Beetle. And what would I need to complete this project? Well, it sounds like he got it. He gave me his phone number. Now, I'm sorry, guys. I don't call numbers when you give them to me. My phone rings off the handle all day long anyway, just due to business stuff, so I really don't have the time to stop and answer phone calls. But he gave me an address here. I hope he left an email. James, you did not leave an email. How am I supposed to get in contact with you the right way? I'm an internet guy. I do everything over the internet. He did give me an address here, though, so I will certainly respond back to him with the form of a letter. Not something I ordinarily would do, but snail mail seems to be the best way to contact here. Let's see. There it is, his address. Hope to hear from you soon on this project, James Curtis. I don't know if he's one of my regular YouTube fans. His name sounds familiar, but Merry Christmas to you and your family. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a happy holiday season. And if you have a chicken at home, like little Bitty, wish them a Merry Christmas too. Anyways, in an answer to his question, he's got a 64 chassis, and he's got a 1970 engine and a 1970 transmission. Now, the 70 transmission will fit into the 64 chassis, however, you won't be able to connect the axles. The reason for that is the later models use the independent rear suspension, or IRS as it was branded here in America, versus the swing axles that you would have found on the 64. Is it possible to make the IRS work in a swing axle chassis? Absolutely yes. You have to add the pivot points, just like I did to Ruby behind me here, and I think I did that about a year ago on video. I'll give you a link to the video. It'll be down below in the video description. You can find it there, and you can watch the process on what it takes to actually make that happen. It is a very doable thing. It's not for anybody that's not familiar with welding nor fabricating, because there is some work that does go into mounting those pivot points. And then, of course, you'll need the IRS trailing arms, you'll need the IRS spring plates, all the bolted hardware that goes on there, and then everything else after that should work. You should be able to use the axles that he said from a 1970. They should bolt right on. You should be able to even use the earlier brakes from a 64 if he has those. You can put those on there too. Now, if it's got 4 wheels on it, then it probably already has a transmission in it anyway, because if you take the transmission out of a swing axle Beetle, you can't attach the wheels because all that axles and everything is all one big giant piece. And one other option might be to get the actual swing axle axles and take the side plates off of the 1970 transmission, bolt the stubs on, well, it won't be stubs, it'll actually be full-sized axles onto the 1970 transmission, and then use your 1964 spring plates. So that's doable also. You got a couple different ways to approach this, or, well, easiest way, get the right parts, bolt it together, or just swap the entire chassis out if you have another chassis available to you with a title. It's as easy as just removing, 24 bolts all the way around it, lift the body off, drop it back down, and you're up and running. Well, James, I hope that answers your question if you are watching, and if you're not, that'll hopefully help somebody else that is. Anyway, let's go ahead and resume back to our normally scheduled program. Right, Bitty? Yeah, pecking my teeth again? She likes teeth. Probably infatuated with them because she doesn't have any. And she discovered ice cream last night, too. I never would have guessed that a chicken would have loved ice cream. My ducks want nothing to do with ice cream. Bitty will steal my ice cream, a little triangular bite, run away, and then come on back and steal some more. Yeah, you like ice cream. Ow, that hurt. I don't have any ice cream right now. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. Maybe later. Well, if you guys have been watching my other YouTube channel, and I can't believe how many people out there don't understand still to this day that I have multiple YouTube channels, you'll have seen that I've started working on these go-karts back here, and I got one of them running. These were abandoned go-karts. They belonged to my neighbor. She purchased them from somebody that was the neighbor of her mother. And they've been sitting out for several years. They had a bunch of problems. They were in a little bit rough shape, but she wanted to get them for her grandson for Christmas, and she got a killer deal on them. And looking at them, yeah, they were a little rough around the edges, but nothing that a little bit of rust cleanup and a coat of paint and going through the engine and the brakes and everything shouldn't be able to fix. And I did get it for a little bit of test ride, even though it had bad brakes. This is the master cylinder that came off of there. I was driving it without the brakes because the piston got stuck. Well, I got an express order, and I don't usually say names, but it was from Amazon. They give you 2-day shipping for no extra cost, so I went ahead and, oh, poor duck. Little duck took a kersplat. 2-day shipping to get one here, but there is the new master cylinder that we're going to be installing. Everything on there should be spec'd out to be the same size. Pretty standard stuff. There's not too much to these things. But what had happened on the old one is the piston actually froze itself inside the bore. And between both of these go-karts, they had exactly the same problem. I guess what happened is the moisture got in there, and the piston, which is probably steel, maybe? There appears to be rust in the bore. And the bore is likely aluminum, because this feels really, really light. Between the electrolysis and, you know, the chemicals get in there, water, blah, 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 they corrode at different rates and they jammed up. And I put this in my vise with a bolt and shoved the piston on in and got it to move, but I couldn't get the piston to pop back out. So once I saw that, there's no sense in trying to lubricate it because you're not supposed to lube a master cylinder anyway. The brake fluid is supposed to be lubricant. So it's just time to just replace them. And these aren't expensive. They're right around $20. And this will be a direct bolt-on replacement. It even came with a reservoir, and that's kind of nice. Not that the one that was on here was any bad, but it's just nice that it's there. The push rod in here appears to be something that's mounted in the piston, so we'll probably change out the existing push rod. But we'll make another video about this before Christmas, but this hopefully will be done in the next few days for Christmas. And hopefully this will solve the problems that we have with the brakes. I don't see why not. Everything else is probably okay. Well, anyway, we'll hop on that. Well, if you have any other questions you'd like to ask me, please always ask down below in the video description. We try to cover them in a Q&A, usually on Mondays if my schedule allows. Of course, this is, once again, another video that can get released on Monday. If you'd like to send me mail, hit up duckshit.net and find my address up on the website. It's always posted there. If I change it for some reason, it'll be updated on the website. If you'd like to email me, DuckmanCycles@duckshit.net, or hit up duckshit.net and go to the contact link, and you can type your email in there if you can't remember my email address. So, I mean, it can't get any easier than that. Duckshit.net. It's always in the corner of every single video that I record, yet people still say, what's your website address? It's right there. It's watermarked on the video. Everybody, Merry Christmas. Have a happy and safe holiday season. And I really appreciate everything that everybody has done for me. This is probably going to be the closeout of another year. Hopefully, we'll get one more mail call or Q&A video in before the end of the year. But if not, it might wrap up the thing. It might wrap up the entire year. So happy 2021 ending to everybody. And happy 2022 to all those that are watching. I appreciate you, really. My subscriptions have just jumped leaps and bounds. And every year they double. And hopefully by next May, they will have doubled again. And that'll put me around 80,000-ish. And that's huge to me. Really huge. And that's just DuckmanCycles, by the way. Across all my YouTube channels, if you aggregate all the numbers together, we're right around 100,000. And it's just, I don't know. It's a number that I never had a goal to make that. But now I want my silver, plaque from YouTube. For that 100,000. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I know I'll get there in time, but if it happens the way I want it to happen, it could be by next Thanksgiving. So we'll see what happens. Appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to likey, comment, and subscribe, and pluck that dingle belly so that way you get updates every time that I upload a new video. And we'll see you next time.